Roy Singh, welcome back to Barbados. And of course, when you are on these shores, I know that it has to be something to do with cricket. You've got some big events coming up. Tell us about them.
Yes, yes. Always when we come to Barbados, it's we do have some family here though, and we do come to the island to enjoy the island and to visit family. However, this is our home. We feel our home for cricket in the West Indies is Barbados. So what we like to do is we like to host our tournaments here in Barbados and to basically use it as our home base, right? So that's why we're here.
Okay. And tell us about this upcoming tournament, which I understand is a tournament in preparation for a tournament.
Yeah, so this tournament is kind of interesting. As you know, we're responsible for all Masters cricket in West Indies, so over 40, over 50, and over 60. And we have a big tournament coming up in February in Sri Lanka for the over 50. And we're hoping to select the team from the various tournaments that we're hosting right now. So this one is one of our major tournaments, but we thought what we would do is take the opportunity instead of just leaving it only for over 50 players is to see if we can bring together all our masters cricket players together as much as we can. So in this tournament, we have over 40, over 50, and over 60 players. And for there, we're combining the various teams, making four teams out of it. And from there, doing a competition to see how each team fares and how the players fare. So from here, we're going to have a good idea of who the over 50 team will be, and we can select probably most of the players. Now, there's a few players that are missing that will definitely be in the over 50 side. They just because of scheduling, they're not able to make it. But there is another tournament in early December in Houston, Texas, that they will be present for. So as long as they do well there, the team will round itself out.
You said we are responsible for all the Masters cricket in the Caribbean. So clarify for us when you say we, you're referring to?
The Cricket West Indies Masters Association. Cricket West Indies Masters Association is part of the International Masters Council. And it's a group of 14 countries that run Masters cricket around the world and have all come together to form an association, very similar to ICC, but it is not ICC sanctioned. So ICC does not get into Masters cricket. It's not something they were interested in doing. So what's happened is a lot of countries have gotten together and formed this group, and it comprises of teams or countries like Australia is involved in it, New Zealand, India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, West Indies, Canada, United States. I mean, there's a fair amount of countries that are involved in these, and we've gotten together to form an association to run Masters cricket in over 40, over 50, over 60, and even over 70 cricket. All right. So that's what this group does. It specifically focuses on Masters cricket.
And what's your role with this group?
I am the secretary of the Cricket West Indies Masters Association. I'm also a player in the over 60 team, and I was a former player in the over 50 team as well.
And who are the other officials who form part of the management of this organization?
Yeah, so we have Keith Lawrence, who is a director. We have Gerald Singh, who is the treasurer. We have Raj Singh, who is, he is related to me, and he is the president of the association of Cricket West Indies Masters Association.
Okay, so you're saying that you have a tournament coming up in February. This is over 50s.
Correct.
Isn't
That's
there
in Sri
another
Lanka.
tournament that I heard about that you are going to be involved in early next year as well?
Um, no, that's the major one that we're involved in. That's the one that we're really focused on right now.
Mhm.
And then we have various other tournaments. Next summer, England has invited the over 60 team to play 5 one-day matches in the summer. So we're working on that right now. We're working on the over 40 T20 later on in the year next year. Um, we most likely will also be awarded the over 40 World Cup in 2026. And then, of course, we've got a couple other tournaments. So these tournaments are ongoing.
Okay, so you've got these tournaments next year, but let's come back now to what is in front of us and your tournament that will be starting in a few days. Tell us about it. How's it going to be organized, and how can local people support it?
Yeah, so right now the matches are being held locally. Beanock, Pickwick, and Wanderers is where we're hosting it. So we're going to do a round robin. It's 5 matches in total. So the first 3 matches are going to be round robin, and they're only going to be 35 overs because they're pretty much back to back. And as you know, no international cricket is played back to back. There usually breaks, but because of costs and everything, because most of these players pay their own way, right? There's no sponsorship for this. They have to pay their own way. We need to condense it as much as possible so that to keep it affordable. So we've reduced it. The normal tournaments are 45 over games. But at our age level, to play 45 overs back to back to back is just too difficult. So we've got 3 round robin games coming up this week, and then the semifinals and then the finals will be played as well. So the next 5, 6 days, that's what's going to happen. Starting on Sunday.
Okay, so where are these games going to be played?
Primarily Pickwick and Beanock, and is where they're going to be held.
Okay, and what is the starting time?
Usually 10 o'clock is our starting time.
Any players that any names that locals may be familiar with?
Well, you're going to have guys like Emerson Jordan's going to be in the side, right? Keith Seal will be in the side. You've got George Harris that plays for Pickwick. So those should be that are there. Anthony Morris, that runs Masters Cricket in Barbados,
Yes, he
will be
does.
part of
Yes.
this group as well. Yeah, so really a lot of familiar names. The Bajans are really important to us because there's a lot of great Bajan players that we need to be part of this group to make sure that we're strong enough and to also have local support. It's really important. But they are there and they're good supporters of the association and they're very good players. So it's basically very important to the association.
I understand you have a former West Indies player in the mix as well.
Yeah, we do. We have from oh dear, just leaving me here
Ramdas, I
for a
think it
second.
is. So.
Yeah. Um, Again, I he's the over 40 level. Uh,
Mhm.
we're getting more and more former West Indian players that are kind of interested in being part of this, right? And yeah, Ryan Ramdas is the former West Indian player, right? But you've got a lot of first class cricketers. I mean, you've got a lot of first class cricketers that are playing with us. It's guys that just didn't make it to the West Indian team, but they were good enough. It's just unfortunate the West Indian team was so strong that how are you going to displace the former West Indian players? You just couldn't. So these guys have continued to apply their craft all around the world and are still decent players, better than the West Indian players nowadays.
But
Let's
I
correct
was
that.
just thinking that
They're
some
the,
may suggest that you would love to turn back the clock and get some of these players who were pretty good in their day, but because of the strength of West Indies, they couldn't make it. No,
yeah,
there are many people wishing, and that we had that type of depth.
absolutely, and the dedication, right, and the love for the game. That's, I would say, that's probably the biggest thing is these guys, the absolute love for the game is what's probably showing out the most because they, like I said, they pay their own way and they've worked hard, they train, they do what they can, and they're still fantastic cricketers. It really is.
Before you go, though, I sense that there's a particular, well, you actually suggested it, love for playing cricket in Barbados, quite apart from the cricket itself. Am I wrong?
No, no, you're not wrong. I mean, we love coming here. I mean, Most of the grounds are all first class grounds that we play on. We play on good turf wickets with groundsmen that know what they're doing. The pitches are covered, which is important. And our hospitality here has always been nothing but fantastic, so it's a win-win situation. We can't go wrong playing cricket in Barbados, right? And that's why we chose it as our home.
And I think you're getting some commercial help as well with the refreshments.
Yes, yes, we've got the Blue Water has stepped up again as a sponsor, and they've been fabulous. We've held two other tournaments here in Barbados, and they stepped up big time for us. And now again, they're stepping in here to assist us. So they've been a fabulous, fabulous sponsor, and we're hoping that they'll be part of our over 40 World Cup that we bid on, and that we think that we will win.
Roy, I certainly thank you for taking the opportunity to enlighten us about the upcoming tournament. I think you said it's starting on Sunday, and
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken, the final is scheduled for the 22nd, it is?
correct, correct.
Yes. So hopefully, those local cricket fans, I know Masters cricket has its own following, and here's hoping that you will get that support because I can tell you, watching Masters cricket is a joy in itself. Those who may say, well, yeah, they're a bunch of old guys, but you can learn a lot from watching. It's just that everything happens a little bit more slowly, but it's still intense. It is still technically quite correct. And I can tell you from my own experience that it's an enjoyable exercise.
Absolutely,
Thanks
absolutely.
again, Roy.